All right, looks like we are live. Hello, Facebook.
Hello.
It's Brooke and Jasmine. We're so excited to come and chat with you tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We got some really fun, potent medicine to come through. I'm excited.
I am as well. Awesome. Well, tonight's a special event. We are hosting a special event coming up this winter to kickstart the new year. And we wanted to bring an introduction video and some breakthrough, some message, some testimony, some experience, some strength, some hope, and talk to you about what we're going to be doing at this incredible retreat this winter.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited. All right, let me come click over here. Okay, we are hosting a women's winter wealth shift retreat up here in Montana from January 7th through the 11th. All right, Jazz.
So before we start with our awakening story and journey, let's click back there. So January 7th to 11th, that is a Friday to a Monday, right?
Let me look it up.
Yeah.
My days run together, Jazz.
Mine too. That's why I'm like,
we don't have real schedules, you guys. So
Saturday is like every day. You ever heard of that saying, Mr. Saturday?
No, but fill me in.
So there's go ahead.
Go ahead.
So it's like this guy who just doesn't have a job, who just like lives like however he wants, and every day is Saturday, and everyone was so jealous of this man they just called him Mr. Saturday. So
well, call me Mr. Saturday because that's my life.
True.
Okay, January 7th through the 11th. It is Thursday the 7th through Monday the 11th.
That's right.
It is magical. So come take a long weekend. Come spend a long weekend relaxing, growing, releasing, shifting, and truly stepping into the fullness of you with us up here.
Oh, it's going to be so awesome.
Oh my God.
Because it's going to be located in Glacier. Oh, was that you?
No.
Oh, was that me? Because I have so many devices. I've got like two phones, and I got a computer, and I heard ding ding. But see, I get like you. I'm just like, wait, hold on. I had to completely stop. But anyway, so this is going to be at Glacier National Park. And if you don't know what that is or where that's at, I highly recommend you Google that right now or whenever you watch this replay. Google Glacier National Park. And I mean, you'll see the different seasons. But of course, maybe look at Glacier National Park in the winter. And I'm telling you, it's a whole other realm. It's like you've entered not the United States. Not saying that the United States is not beautiful, but it's like almost like we're in completely different locations, like a different planet, honestly.
Yeah. And it's something magical.
Yeah.
It's something magical. And actually it's really interesting. Jasmine and I both happen to have incredible winter, January, New Year's experiences up here in Montana, right near Flathead Lake and Glacier National Park. And I know for me, it was such a period of opening and such a shifting in my life. And then Jasmine happened to stay in the exact same yurt on the exact same ranch exactly a year later. And it was the opening of it wasn't even a new chapter for either one of us. It was a whole new book, a whole new reality. And we're so excited to share the gift and the magic of this place. Like this place that we are in is transformative in itself.
Absolutely. And the fact that it is so just divinely orchestrated how we created this retreat, how it was around the beginning of the year, how we really wanted to focus on helping our women who are coming to this retreat really rewrite her story, history, but her story. And really in a way of like this new year but this new slate, like a completely new slate. And the fact that we literally went through this ourselves, like 2 year before and then 1 year before and now this, is just like, you cannot make this up. Like how orchestrated this is. And one last thing I wanted to say about Glacier Park is that it's right at the 48 divide, or not divide, but the 48 degrees. So have you ever heard of like the lower 48 as like the states? The like above the, not lower 48, but what is it above? What would that be called? Above 48? Yeah. Above 48.
I feel like I should know this.
Yeah, it's like the Arctic. It's literally,
It's
well, that's
Arctic.
when you see, yeah, the northern lights, but in this location, you're able to see the aurora borealis. So
Yeah.
it's so magical for sure.
Fingers crossed that, yeah, we'll get to do that because it's the right season and the right place.
Oh,
All
yes.
right. I'm going to click to this next slide. Our awakening story. Oh,
Mm.
Jazz, do you want to start?
Should we break it down, like what awakening maybe is, like maybe in your
Yeah.
words? What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, you bet. What was awakening for me? Awakening was one day waking up and realizing that I didn't know who I was, and I wasn't happy, content, or fulfilled with my life. And then the realization that I actually was playing a role in that, and I was the creator of it, and that I could do something about it. And that was actually the crack. Was this realization is that of that, like, I had been living on such autopilot and in such a rut, and I'd been programmed to do that, but that I was not actually here on this planet to live that way at all, and that there was actually something so much greater and so much more grand that my life is for, that I'm here for. And so that's what awakening is to me. It's like when you have that moment in your life where you realize things are not what they seem.
Absolutely.
And you have this epiphany that there must be something more. That's the beginning of the awakening.
That's so beautiful. I love that. Because you and I, we met because we awakened. And there's a reason why we had to awaken before most of the masses. And really, truly, 2020 is the year where everyone had to wake up, whether they liked it or not. And so I love how we, just like in a year, just so quickly, we just come back together again, and we have to join forces, because we have gone through the awakening process, at least the beginning stages, and we're starting to really fulfill our mission, and with that similar frequency of empowering women. So for me, the awakening, the way I like to describe it as, like, first you wake up, and when you wake up, it's usually sometimes like a brutally traumatic, or most of the time negative experience or series of events that occurs to make you realize, like, holy shit, I've just been living a lie. Like, literally, that's truly the wake up call. And I don't know if anyone has had like a really graceful awakening, but it's honestly a rude awakening. And so that's kind of what happened for me. So it's, the awakening is like a rude awakening, but then you slowly become aware of what is that falsity, or what is that living a lie that you realize that is not truly fulfilling your heart or your purpose. And so that has happened to me. And so when you really go through that process of awareness, you begin to shift. You begin to shift the people you hang around with. You begin to shift the people you learn from, the people you gravitate towards, the people who's on your social media, who lives you're watching, And so really that's when soul family came to me, was through my awakening and how I met Brooke. And so along that process, you meet your soul family. You really get to understand true heart to heart connection relationship based, like heart-based relationship, not just blood-based, but Brooke, she knows the real term, and it's totally true. And I'm just so honored to like be able to be walking this path of already kind of gone through the beginning awakening and slowly helping others along that path. So I just wanted to do that little explanation.
I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, my awakening was brutal too. And mine came as a series of rock bottoms and dark nights of the soul. But in that, I discovered my resilience and I discovered my heart and I discovered the truth of who I am. And there was so much gold, there was so much treasure buried in all of what I thought were the worst parts of myself and the worst parts of my life, but there was gold there. And I love this weekend and this retreat that we're hosting in January because we're going to facilitate that transformation. We're really going to facilitate. I talked about this the other day. When you have a precious metal, when it's originally mined from the earth, it has all kinds of debris and all kinds of other material with it. It's not in its purest form yet, and neither are we. We're born into this world that is consumed by literally a fire swamp of trauma and drama. And we're born into this space with greed and fear and control and competition. And the awakening is realizing that you're actually not that. You're actually much greater than that, that you are an infinite being, that you are a sovereign being, that you are a powerful creator, that you have choice and that you have say. And it's a refining process. And so, like for most people, the awakening is not easy because here you are, this precious metal that's been pulled from the earth, but you must have the debris burned off of you. The heat must be turned up to a point that the impurities are burned off. And so we're in this process here on this planet to evolve and to expand and to become like the most pure, vibrant form of yourself. Not of anybody else, but of yourself, because that's the magic. And so this retreat is going to be that is it is a facilitation in that journey. It is a burning away of the past and what no longer serves you and stepping into the pureness and the fullness of who you really are.
Oh, that is so true. When you say this is going to be a weekend of facilitation, because truly, as healers, as we are healers, in this life, and we're embodying that. As healers, we are here to facilitate other people's healing. We're not here to heal people. We're here to show them that they are the healer of themselves, which is so amazing. I love how you said that. And also, too, that precious metal metaphor, if we think of each and every one of us as this diamond, and
Mhm.
how much pressure it takes and all of that, um, just everything, that energy to create this diamond. We have to think about that. Like, we are a diamond in our form, but we really have to go and crank up the heat and be able to fully be able to shine.
Yeah, the pressure is the secret ingredient.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, what's this next slide? Okay. I'm going to let you take over here.
So I just wanted to share this about like my childhood to who I am now as like a woman, womanhood. And so literally it's really tough, like I don't know if some of you know me or some of you have known me since I was young or my past, but I grew up in a little town called Barstow. And it's like this tiny little town, like 2 hours before you get to Vegas. And it's literally, there's a little ghost town that's like a couple miles there, but it's kind of like that energy, like a ghost town energy. It was just like a vortex of just real negative stuff to happen, like meth houses all around the desert. You know what I'm saying? If some of you guys know what the desert is like, bunch of little. Have you seen what's that? What's that TV show, sis? There's like we don't watch TV, but I know you know this. There's like that meth.
Breaking Bad.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Just like just like Breaking Bad, like those little tiny little houses all over the desert. That's what I was born into, in a tiny little town like that. So I was born into like this ghetto, lower middle class. And then if you guys don't know, like my heritage, my dad is Islander, he's Guamanian, and then my mom is Filipino. And then so the Islanders, they were just bad, like gangsters. And I just had uncles, and I was just the one girl that these teenagers were raising. And so, I mean, you get the picture, you get the ingredients. It's not that great of a childhood. And so, as I grew up as a little girl, I started to realize that my dad's drug addiction and how it began to change him, and how it really has shifted my childhood and to my teens, to my adulthood as a woman, and all of these projections and all of this, the things that you learn in childhood, or the way that your father and mother are in your life, is truly how you perceive the world. Those are your lenses as you go out through the world, as you grow up. You may not realize that, but every single day as you awake, become from a teen to an adult, you have those projections still playing in your subconscious. And so I was not aware of that until I began to awaken. But in my childhood, the role of my father was huge, for the person I was before my awakening into the person now that I'm becoming. And I made a post about how it takes a warrior to go through a full spectrum of karma, of rebalancing of the family structure. And I had it deep in my mother's side and my father's side. And and I talk a lot about spirituality and ascension. And as a light worker, or as a starseed, someone who knows that they came here to shift the way of this planet, you understand that you have your soul has this contract where you put up all of this trauma and drama. You put it up all in your contract for you to experience, but for you to shift and for you to rebalance that karma. So as a child, I was kind of like, why? Like, I know I'm even as a kid, I remember this, like maybe a little bit, like a little younger or older than Bo, my son, who's 5. So maybe like 6 or 7, even 8ish. I remember like, I am such a good soul. How could I want this life? And it was so intricate for like an 8-year-old to think these things. But I remember that. And then I was just wondering, like, why did I choose this horrible life experience of a childhood? All I wanted as a kid was my mom and dad to be together. That's all I wanted. And that's not what I had. And so I always like kind of had that lingering within my own energy and my own projections. And so then that later on led to, my own wounds, my own jealousy and insecurity into womanhood. Before really my awakening. My awakening was just like a big, huge eye opener for me to be like, whoa, that's not you. All of that negative stuff that you were doing, and your anger, or my anger, my stress, and all of that, it all came from my childhood and my projections, and especially my relationship with my dad. And so, it's just that the amount of trauma and drama that I had my soul sign up for is for me to really, that energy I'm alchemizing in this new timeline of awakening. When you awaken, all of that dense energy, you begin to alchemize as you take those steps of living more consciously, more of your soul purpose, just like what me and Brooke are doing. We're really truly living out our soul purpose by being of service. And so now it just leads me to who I am right now and how I'm empowering myself as I'm empowering others. But I know that was long, but that's truly like really personal stuff that I haven't really shared. So that's my childhood to womanhood.
Well, it's really interesting because it does, all of it shapes you. And, it's unconscious. You don't even realize because the goldfish in the tank doesn't realize the quality of the water
So
that
true.
it's swimming in.
So true.
And I certainly I didn't know. You've got a little beta fish in a little tank. It doesn't know that Flathead Lake exists right out here for both of us,
Right.
right? It just doesn't even know. And the tree that's planted where it's planted doesn't know that there might be better quality soil somewhere else. And so I just didn't know that. I had a whole bunch of blind spots. I had a whole bunch of things that I didn't know that I didn't know. I was settling in a whole bunch of different areas in my life. I was tolerating the intolerable. I was repeating stories and belief systems and judgments that weren't actually true for me and that weren't serving me. And it all stemmed from this childhood stuff. And I grew up, it's interesting, I actually grew up really pretty opposite. I grew up upper middle class. When I was little, we lived in a huge redwood house in the middle of the forest on 5 acres. We had an indoor swimming pool. And so I lived on the other end of the spectrum. And I started eating sushi, and there was fine dining from the time I was 3. And we traveled a lot. I drove an Audi in high school. So I came from a different end,
Yeah.
and we had money growing up. We had things like that. But there were other things. My parents split up 3 times before I was 6. They got divorced when I was 6 and a half. My dad moved to Texas. My mom and dad both got remarried. And then there was significant trauma, significant physical, emotional, sexual, financial. I made up a word. I do that a lot.
Oh, that's so
Trauma, though, that stretched and
funny.
spanned my childhood and my teen years. And I looked at the people around me in my life and the way that they were dealing with things that were heavy and things that were hard to deal with, they were numbing it out. They were like, racking it up on a credit card and retail therapy or alcohol or Starbucks or whatever. And so when the trauma and the baggage got too heavy for me to carry, that was a solution for me for a very long time. And I talk pretty extensively about the fact that I spent a number of years of my life very addicted. I should not be alive. I am alive because I have a bigger purpose and I have a bigger mission. And I see now that like my mess can become my message. But there was a point in my life where though I wasn't living in that kind of ghost town with that kind of drug use, I was using the drugs, but driving the Audi.
Yeah.
And isn't it interesting that like the same kind of issue, the same kind of insecurity, the same kind of fear, the self-doubt, the self-loathing, it can exist in all cultures and in all socioeconomic statuses. And it's the most rampant issue that I see in our world right now. And so what a gift that we're in this time, this tumultuous time in 2020 where so much has come to light and so many people are being forced to really look at what's actually so and then do something about it. Because I can tell you that there is a gift in desperation. There is a gift in rock bottom. There is a gift in that because that's the moment when you're actually cracked open and there's some space for something else to come through. And I can tell you that rock bottom was the firm foundation on which I rebuilt my life. And so when you go through that, and when you're literally willing, like I had to let the old version of me die, and I've had to let old versions of me die probably 1,000 times. But when you're willing to do that, then a new you can rise up from the ashes.
So true.
Yeah, a new you can rise up like a phoenix. And that's what we are facilitating in this weekend. You guys, I can't even feeling the energy of it. I can't even really call it a weekend. It's a long weekend. Um, this is going to be such a reality shifting event that who you are and what your reality is when you enter this weekend and when you leave, it is not even going to be recognizable. Not even recognizable. Okay.
No.
So this is an interesting thing, this doing the work. There's a bunch of sayings out there like faith without works is dead. You've got to do the work. So, Jasmine, can you break down for us what exactly doing the work means in your book?
So doing the work, I'm sure, like you and I'm sure a lot of people when we're talking, we're like, "Oh, I've done the work." You know what I mean? So some people some people can understand. Like we use that term, doing the
Yeah.
work, and it's literally soul work. It's just understanding. It's rediscovering. It's knowing the self. Truly, the awakening is just knowing the self. It's not about knowing about the highest dimension or the characteristics of a dimension or the every type of healing modality. It's truly knowing yourself. And so how you get to that point of learning to know about yourself, you have to heal, because the whole reason why you awaken is because you're awakening to the fact that the life you are living is false. So you are now on the discovery for truth. And on the discovery for truth, you're healing everything inside, like your emotional body, your mental body. But what's connected to that? We were talking about our childhood and how ever since the day we were born, we are already absorbing and creating a memory and already creating a perception. And that perception stays with us our whole life until we correct the density or correct the wrongness, correct the bad, whatever you think is negative, whatever words you want to use. But healing and awakening together, I mean, it goes hand in hand together. When you begin to heal, you're awakening more, to higher levels of consciousness. Which I don't want to get too much into that, but healing and awakening is doing the work, is doing your soul work. It's just understanding, maybe your ancestral lineage and the trauma and drama and the cycles that your mom and dad went through, or your grandparents, or even your aunts and uncles at this now moment. What is all of your family doing right now? And what are you doing? Like, if you think of that and how you can shift that. If you've known for generations and generations, you've been poor. For me, on my Filipino side, poverty back into I don't know when. Like I don't know even how old my lineage on my Filipino side, but it's been poverty. And just until recently, when my grandparents took his family, my grandpa and grandma to America, that's when it began to shift. But there was still so much ancestral healing that needed to be done. And I came down and really, now that I'm consciously aware of this healing, this type of work I can do, not just for myself, but for my son, my grandchildren, my past generation. I mean, it's worth taking a look at. It's worth thinking of this, being aware of healing, being aware of what soul work. That's what I mean by doing the work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it was realizing a couple of things that I was the common denominator in my life, that the real enemy was truly in me. And mostly what it was is it was places where, when you have a trauma that happens in your life is actually an energetic injury. And when you have an energetic injury, and you don't heal it, you don't allow it air, you don't allow it space to breathe, that's when it creates an issue. And so I had all kinds of these things, and they get kind of layered up. these old belief systems, these old injuries, these old judgments, these old hurts, right? And we're not taught in our culture normally to go look at that. In fact, a lot of the New Age teaching actually has you run from that because looking at that isn't love and light and positive. And so I actually went down a rabbit hole for a while where I thought that I had to be all positive all the time. But the reality of me, the real work for me, was not in running from the darkest parts of myself, but actually turning to them with love and with a flashlight to become aware of it, to actually be with it. Because all of these bits of myself, they were bits of myself that had just gotten stuck. When you go through a traumatic event and you are not prepared to handle it in the moment, there's a part of you that just gets trapped in that time.
Oh, yeah.
So you might have had something big happen when you were 3 or when you were 7. And there's a part of you that has been stuck as that 3-year-old or as that 7-year-old. And when you're going about your life and you come across an energy that feels familiar to that 3-year-old or that 7-year-old part of you, they step up and they start running the show. And this is the biggest reason why people do not have the results that they would like to have in their life, the happiness, the relationships, the money, is because, anytime they go after it, because of these unresolved issues, these fragmented, stuck parts of self, that's that part of them that's responding, and so they can't get out of the rut. So it's really interesting. It's like Jasmine said, healing and awakening come together. And the more that you awaken, the more that you become aware, the more that you become conscious and present and a creative person again, a decisive person again, a critical thinker again, someone that perceives again. The more that you heal, the more that happens. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So this is just the link, but I'm sure we'll go ahead and put that in the comments. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have 7 spots left to join us for this winter wealth retreat where we're going to be diving deep into all of this. We're going to be exploring the bits and pieces and the nooks and crannies of yourself. We're going to be getting all of these parts unstuck and moving again so you can be the fullness of you. All right, what's included? Do you want me to name off the list?
Yes, I think so. But before we name off like the check mark list, let's name off like the funnest stuff first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm so excited. Okay, first and foremost, when you join us on this weekend, we are tapping you into your most luxurious, your most wealthy, your most VIP self.
And
so I want to
wait
be
until you see this beautiful cabin. Like, there's nothing I've ever seen or
seen like it.
Hanged out at before. So I'm super excited.
I'm super excited. Like, Jasmine and I thought we stayed at a pretty cool place when we did our healing and awakening up here.
It was cool.
This place, yeah, it was way cool. This place knocks the socks off of it. I'm so excited. I am so excited. We are doing yoga, massages, facials, relaxation, past life regression therapy. We will be doing a cacao ceremony. The lovely Jasmine will be leading us in that. We are doing wealth workshops, new moon ceremonies, playtime outside. We have a surprise adventure.
Oh, I'm so excited. And
We have
I
a surprise adventure that is going to take you to the most beautiful places up here and crack you open in a new way, show you what you're made of.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I wanted to talk about the past life regression.
Yes.
So that is super, super cool. And our good friend, Christina, she is a quantum healing hypnotherapist, past life regression specialist. And so she's licensed and trained to do hypnotherapy, and she specializes in past life regression. But what's really cool is what we're going to do at this retreat is we are all going to start off with doing a group past life healing, like a group session together. And throughout the whole weekend, you will be doing the sister who comes to this retreat, the 7 left. There's 9 total. So we had 2 fill up already and 7 left. And with these next 7 sisters, you'll be doing a one-on-one, if you decide you want to, one-on-one past life regression that the hypnotherapist is going to be looking and diving into your money wounds or like your wealth wounds or what life that you have created these programmings of, you know? And only if you want to. If you want to go back into another life to learn about something else, absolutely. But we have really crafted these past life regressions to be able to help the woman, you know, specifically learn through her own past and her own, through her soul recognition of what really went on and how she can shift that in this life, which I think is so awesome. And then we have these this esthetician who is also a healer. And the quantum hypnotherapist, she's a healer. Everyone that is going to be of service here is going to definitely be a healer. And so this esthetician, she's going to be doing facials for us. And every single person throughout the weekend will have their time slotted for their personal facial. And then, of course, your massage by yourself at any time. It's going to be like literally the most luxurious relaxation weekend that you could think of. And we forgot one thing too of what's included is transportation from the airport to the beautiful cabin, our Airbnb. So
Yes, super excited. Additionally, all of your meals are included.
Yes.
We will be having a formal dinner party, a future self-activation party. Really, the whole weekend is about that. The whole weekend is about release and breakthrough so that you can rise into the fullness and the power of you. Yes. Is there anything else that I wanted to include that we missed? I think we covered it.
Yeah.
You guys, it is going to be a cozy, relaxed, fun, adventurous, playful, luxurious weekend in one of the most magical, beautiful places on earth. I'm so excited.
Yes. And so what is not included is just 2 things. Is your plane ticket and your tip for our beautiful service healers who is going to be doing your facial, and then one for your massage, and also for your healing session. Yes, gratitude tip, of course. But other than that, the price
Everything.
that is on the link is exactly, you get all of it. So
Love it.
it's going to be amazing. There's no price tag on sisterhood and sisterhood bonding.
Yes, I'm so excited. Awesome. So we will be posting the link to the retreat up in the comment section. We're so excited. Happy awakening, happy whole new reality. You know, you can truly be, do, and have anything that you would like to be in this world if you're willing to go within and do the work.
Absolutely.
Anything else, my dear?
Did you want to go over the sisters packages?
Oh yeah, we can do the sisters packages.
Okay.
Add this. 2 bring a friend specials.
Do you want to explain it?
Yeah, well, I'll let you explain it. So we've decided, because we're feeling abundant and generous as all get out. Everybody gets a massage. Everybody gets a facial. Everybody just gets everything.
I feel like that Oprah meme, you know?
right?
We get
Seriously,
one.
you get a this, you get a this. And we've got some incredible gift bags, some incredible goodies, some cool things that I can't wait. First off to create, second off to gift you. Really excited about what's being created here.
Yes. And so with these two Bring a Friend specials, what that means is that the Bring a Friend special is when you look at the option on We Travel, there will be an option where it will be the price of two, and you can just go ahead and click that and put in your information, and you can put in your sister's information. And what that means is you guys will just have a shared bed. And it's a king size bed. So if you want to like have a little slumber sleepover with your girlfriend, there's two specials that you can do that. And one special power of three. So if there is a sister little girl gang, not little, but a girl gang that wants to come, that would be totally for you, where there is a package where three sisters. So it would be the price of three, but if you look at the We Travel, one sister can go ahead and purchase, and as long as you put the information of the other two. And that is the packages.
Great. Awesome. All right. Super excited for this winter wealth retreat. Super excited for everything that's happening on the planet right now. And yeah, happy awakening, everybody.
Yes.
Much love, Jazz. I'll see you soon. Much love, everybody. I hope you have a great night.
Bye.